At long last, allow me to show you the power of Super Saiyan 4!
Yo, what's up guys? Dragonball here with another Dragon Ball Legends top 10 list actually. With the new units, obviously including Trunks and Gohan as well as Charlotte, and some other units that didn't make the list, not didn't make the list, but I didn't make a list with them yet. So yeah, as always, I don't necessarily own every character here on this list. Some units I only have maybe at 8 stars, 10 stars or 5 stars, or don't even own the unit at all. For example, Legend Charlotte. So if you own this character, or have higher stars than then have other experience, or let me know in the comments as always. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and let's get go with the top 10, starting with a unit where this might be the wrong judgment because it's very early, but I think I'm gonna put Revival Gohan at number 10. He is the same unit that he always was, but I think the teams is where I have my issues with him. Obviously, with the help of Gohan and Trunks, he has at least one partner, and then you can, for example, run the Yellow Pan, who's a very good supportive character, or Green, Sword of Hope. What I think, and we're gonna talk about this unit soon enough. I just think defensively this team is very frail, and it's not like a crazy team. At least I don't see the team that often. But I mean, he has all the abilities he used to have: the infinite cards, infinite key, blue card generator with type neutrality and all this stuff, and revival, endurance amplification. Yeah, can't say I missed this character, but I think the teams is why I'm keeping him a bit lower right now. I didn't face this unit that much, and I just recently pulled this guy only at 3 stars, and I'm not gonna use him PvP for that. So this might be a case of not having enough experience with the character to really justify if he's just number 10. But this is where I'm gonna keep him. And then we're gonna talk about the other hybrid Saiyan, which is Sword of Hope. I think Sword of Hope and Gohan then can be replaced from spots. But the thing with Sword of Hope, and I talked about this in the last tier list, at this point it's very very clear, even him being on, what was it, the featured boost, he can't keep up defensively in this meta. And I'm not talking about his tanking alone, because that's also a problem. Like, everybody murders him defensively, but his disrupt is also just whatever. Like, especially Gogeta, full unique gauge ignores attribute downgrade entirely, so his disrupt is non-existent against Gogeta, not existent against Vegito, and he takes so much damage that stacking cost increase is not gonna work for you. Like, by the time you stack it up to like what, 3 times, you already lost over half of your HP, which is not ideal. So while he has good offense, and I think he's a usable character, defensively is just simply lacking, and therefore I cannot put this guy any higher than this. You can make the argument that Revival Gohan could be over him, but I think also we get an Ogrini in it, we have Broly still, so I'm not sure who is the better one. From seeing him, from usage, I would have said Revival Gohan, but I don't know. The team with this character is also, again, never ideal, because this guy is not good enough anymore, and considering that this is a purple unit that can nullify his endurance very quickly, it's also scary. So yeah, Sword of Hope, while definitely usable, that's the highest it's gonna be, and I think yeah, this is the point where Sword of Hope will slowly fall off the list. Again, should have given him more buffs, like supporting his teams way earlier than Anniversary, which they didn't do. So yeah, moving to number 8, I have Vegito. Where are you? Vegito. I don't think this is like a bad spot for him. I think Fusions is a team you can run. It's nothing crazy. It's good, but nothing crazy. Vegito does still the things that he has always been doing, which is doing insane damage. If you're not fighting Yellow Goku Black, he's obviously going to perform better, but I just think at this point, especially because he's not on a boost, I think, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I don't think he's on boost anymore, so I feel like other units are just better and a bit more necessary than him. But again, he gained a good team. He's definitely a runnable, usable unit that I personally see every now and then. Just nothing crazy. So yeah, and he's been so long in the game, like, what's there else to tell about him? He's been out for a while, you know what he does. I don't need to give you a whole recap of what the character does here, because he's not that new. So, Legend Vegito at 8, very solid character still, very, again, definitely runnable, especially on fusions. But yeah, moving to number 7. I'm picking Blue Rosé for this. The thing with Blue Rosé is, besides that he's basically have like, I would say, one team that you're really running him, and that's Powerful Opponent with the other one, and I think Green Broly, I think that's his best team. He is not that bothering. Like, he's not bad, but it's not like, oh no, Blue Rosé is here, I'm gonna shit in my pants, you know what I mean? Like, he's there, he's doing team-wide debuffs, so just hits, he's providing blue cards, can do good damage, type neutral against the greens, nothing bad, he's very good against the new character here. But the other two reds are just tearing him apart, especially this guy once he transforms. Blue Rosé is like, I mean, he has his heals, but he's beating him up. Okay? We have a new green character who, if he faints him, is also not that great, so and I think that's the biggest thing. Unless you're running this to do specifically, you don't really see Blue Rosé, which, and I would say Yellow Goku Black has better team varieties that are just better. But he's still the best blue, so he has some value. Again, I think if you're running these two together, it's a very good counter against this character, who is pretty good. But I don't think he's right now anything crazy. But he's not bad. So I'm gonna keep him at number 7. Yeah. Nothing more to add. I mean, he's not that old. Or that recent, like, no, what I'm saying, he is not, yeah, he's recent, you know, the latest release before anniversary, so he's still in your mind what he's doing, and what he does is very solid for the teams and everything, but I feel like it's not like this necessary unit, I would say, but he's okay, he's very solid. Anyone who's on here is obviously runnable, unlike before, it's just not just the top 5 units and everything else doesn't matter. So yeah, number 7 for Legend Rosé here. Then number 6, I have decided to pick Legend Yellow, not Legend, LF Goku Black. I think he's off the boost, so that hurts him a little, not much, but a little. But double red still exists, so if you looked at my last tier list, my problem with that is, if you're fighting, again, double reds, what's he gonna do? Offensively, not really much. And you could argue, yeah, he has a second main with type neutral offensively, that's one time. And 2 reds, so if you're losing one character, you have one yellow character against 2 reds, not ideal. He has buff removal against, so he can remove his type neutral defensively and then destroy this character, so that's tough. And now we have another red character who has buff removal, so that's also tough. Granted, he's yellow, they're half purple, so he is bad and good against them at the same time. And especially this duo is countering them defensively very good. But I think it's not enough. But I think the team variety this character has, because you can run him with the double, with these two together. You can run him with, for example, red Broly and green Broly. You can run him with future Gohan and Trunks. So the variety is there. Where I would say he is still good, but that's too many reds, especially too many reds running together. Some people run these two together too, so that's bothersome. Nothing else to say, that's just a problem, but he still has a Dragonball destruction, team-wide cover null, good damage against other units, blue cards and everything, so yeah. Still very good, but not the right meta right now for him. So, and then we're moving to the number 5 unit, and I've decided to pick here Legend Charlotte. I think his kit overall is very good. The blue card generation, potential feints, lock in, double card draw speed. Very strong abilities, but my problem with him is I don't know if I would really consider this a problem, but it's just that's how I feel when I face this character. Maybe you're different because you own the character, I don't, but whenever I face him and I see him doing his work, it's like, okay, that's not bad, solid, but Gogeta would have done more. It always feels like there could have been another unit that could have done way more than this character. Like, I think his kit is, if you compare these two, he has the better overall because he has safety, because he has endurance, he has buff removal, like subcount manipulation, not only when he's on a battlefield but also when he's not on a battlefield. So the type neutrality you could gain, like Charlotte has a lot of, I think, overall things that are nice, but offensively he doesn't feel like really threatening. And that doesn't mean he doesn't do no damage, it just means that other units feel a bit more to feel threatened about. Like, I'm more worried about the combo from Vegito than I am from Charlotte, because his damage gaining isn't that great. Like, he feels like Yellow Janemba in that regard, because it's like, okay, Yellow Janemba is stacking debuffs, doing more damage, but then I just switch out and you need to build up again. That's Legend Shadow. Now that I think about it, he seems very similar to Yellow Janemba in that regard. Not that he's bad, but that's just what I notice. So, he's good. He has a team with Gogeta and then whatever third you're gonna run. Sometimes these guys, sometimes Yellow Goku Black, sometimes Vegito. Like, solid team variety, he's a solid character, but I don't feel as threatened in comparison to the rest. So he's gonna stay at number 5 and I won't put him any higher than this. So yeah. Moving up to 2 units, because number 3 and number 4 in my opinion you can change. I'm gonna not put it in a shared tier, but I can see arguments to be swapping this back and forth. I'm putting Legend Broly at 4 and Gohan and Trunks, or Trunks Gohan at 3. This is a weird situation, to be honest, because individually speaking, this is what I want to do, but overall looking, that's what I want to do. So I'm very torn on this, because the main thing is they are strong. Like, offensively speaking, if I would look at the whole top 10, they are probably the 3rd hardest hitting character. If I, regarding the double red setup, okay? That's very important, because if I wouldn't look at multiple Zenkai buffs here, I maybe would say that even the second highest damage character, or even the highest. Because stacking normal damage and damage guard penetration at the same time is insanely strong. They have uncancelable endurance null with their blue cards, because all they have to do is tag switch once, and then they have an enhanced Legends action and enhanced blue card, which gives them uncancelable endurance on their blue cards, which is very strong, because if you look at most of the units, they all have endurance. So that's a very strong ability, a very threatening against this guys especially, which is why he's not the #1 unit anymore, by the way. And also why he's even that lower than, because I had him at #1 and now he's the #3 argument here. So that's I would say significant drop. Not a significant, but a noticeable drop. But the problem with them is the team is iffy, and that's where I have my issues. Not just that the team is iffy, but they also have no second life mechanic, which it's not bad that they don't have any. Like, they have rush ceiling, subcon manipulation, they're fine, but it's a minus that still exists, because if you get fainted, for example, in accident, or you get PV'd and in rush, no safety is gonna help you. So that's a thing. And if you look at teams, none of their teams is really complete. It's always like this, it's okay but not perfect. Like, I'm running these three and it's okay but it's not perfect, especially because of this guy. Like, offensively this team's looking great, but defensively it's just sometimes iffy. So that's a hindrance that, for example, Green Brody doesn't have. But I think this is a release, especially because they're part purple. You can combo with this purple side, get him really low in the Legends action and get Endurance Null on Legends action for 5-time accounts. So you could Legends action kill the Brody potentially before he gets his full transformation. So that's bad for him. Doesn't mean that he's like significantly hurt. Like, if you're not running this character, he just feels as always. Like, a Legend Shadowed is not really bothering me, I would say, with when it comes to Broly, and everyone else is just the same. And I don't think Vegito that much to say Legend Broly should be lower than 4, you know. If you want to switch this, I think you can do that definitely. I think especially because of the new, I'm gonna keep going on Trunks and Gohan, whatever. I'm gonna keep them here and then Broly here. But it's really more a team thing. Like, if Broly didn't have his team that he has, I would put this 100%. But I'm more in a 60-40 position right here. So, but Broly, he does what he always does, bro. Like, sealing mains, sealing rushes, destroying Dragonball, stopping combos against the most offensive character in the game that exists, next to Red Gogeta being Red Broly. He's on the best team in the game. Nothing changed, but he has now a unit he actually needs to worry about, because they can very much deal insane damage to a lot of units, and they can sometimes, like, I was in a situation where I got absolutely bodied. Like, I was already in a 2v3 position against this team and maybe 20 time accounts left. If I had more time, I would have 1v3'd them with Gohan and Trunks. That's how insane they can turn things around because of their offensive abilities. But the team is holding them back. Like, I feel like if they had a really good team, shit, they might be in this position where I could even talk about #1. Not that they would be, but talk about. I think they're that good, but they're getting held back by their team. It feels similar to Red Gogeta, but worse, because they have more weaknesses than Red Gogeta, being second life mechanic not existing. So yeah. Then, now, who's the #2 and who's the #1? Huh? Big question, and the answer is, there's no #2 and #1 for me. And keeping the share. I'm not gonna change this from last time. This is in my opinion still the best team in the game because they, realistically speaking, if you're not facing this character, they are just as good as they were before. And even if you face this character, it's not like Red Broly couldn't beat the living hell out of this character. So none of these units are like safe from this character. And Stardust Fall is a problem for these guys because they don't have a second life mechanic. Like, if you ramp up damage against these guys and then Stardust Fall, not looking good. So, and they're on a, again, double red. So at least 2 Zenkai buffs. They're hurting everybody still. And now, I said this last time, I think Red Broly is in my opinion the most offensively threatening character overall because he has his transformation very early and Stardust Fall is something Gogeta has later. So he could create a 2v3 very early, unlike Gogeta. Not that he can't do base of damage, but base of abilities, he's creating 2v3s. If you are in a 2v3, he could very much help you guarantee it to make it a 1v3, and then you also Stardust Fall as an insane ability later in the game. Yeah, the team is too good, there are not that many blues, and especially not strong enough blues to stop or let them care about them, so they're the best. But if I had to choose this time, I would put Gogeta over Broly only, and just only because he gained 1 new team. So I give him points for variety. But besides that, they're shared to me. Yeah, now talking about these 5 units here, Vegeta and Nappa, I just don't see them core on anything. So I really can't see them as an... Like, where do you really run them? That's where my problem is. I don't see these two. I don't think they're Zenkai buffs. Purple Vegeta clan and or purple Zenkai buffers for them is not really aligning that well. There's no other team they're core on, so I decided to put them off the list. And at 15, off the boosts, off the list. Very clear. Pan, very good hybrid supporter. I like this unit. She deserves to be here, but I wouldn't put in the top 10. But she's good. And then the Game Originals buffs that we got last week. I'm gonna start with Charlotte. My biggest problem with him is 2 problems. Not type rotation, what I'm talking about. The cover null situation. Like, you have 30 timer counts of uncancelled cover null, which is cool, but once that's gone, what's your cover null? And you have to consider this for all forms, not just, oh, you get blue shadowed and then you get cover null with full unique gauge. You have to consider every form. 30 times of cover null is too short. Even if you're, for example, like me, using God Shadowed, who can, with MVP 70's blue card, generate a green card, which gives him cover null when he uses it. Still not enough. Charlotte doesn't have good disrupt. In fact, I don't think he has any disrupt. The more I think about it, at least it doesn't feel like it. So I'm like, okay, no good disrupt, no good cover null, so combos is not ideal, and he doesn't have good tanking. Like, his tanking is okay. That's not good enough for me. And then Goku and Bardock feel too reliant on base Shadow specifically for the support to be really good. I think that their strike character with 2 blast units is also not ideal for them. And one thing I hate about this character is they don't get any card on entry besides the 2-time green cards. That are 2 entries, and then they have no card on entry. I don't like that. So they don't make the list for me. Charlotte is not good enough. for, and they are not good enough, and I think that's not a good thing. Many people were very, very unhappy that this character got a Zenkai and Gogeta didn't get any kind of help. And for me, it was a okay. This is hinting to game originals, and I expected that the new buffs for game originals is gonna help these two, because that's what I hoped. That this is the core, and we will get a third character to amplify or complete the team. But I don't think neither of these two is completing necessarily the team. Like, especially not this character. Like, this trio is not working. And I've tried this, it's really not working. So, I guess that's the trio they expect you to run? And even then I would say, do you really need that team? Is this really better in any shape or form than running him with Gogeta and Vegito, for example? I don't think it is. Like, you have to run base Shredder so that they get the maximum support, so they get the best of the best that they could be. Granted, okay, now you have 2 greens, so multiple Zenkai buffs could be very good. It's also that you don't have that many good green Zenkai benches that align, so it's okay, but it's really nothing crazy, and I'm a bit disappointed in that, because I would have preferred that we get a Game Originals team really existing, and it's really not there. I feel like they are missing a third, and Goku and Bardock should have been that third, but it's not. But yeah, this is my opinion. This is the top 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and see you guys yeah, in whatever next video is gonna come. Bye.